Welcome to The Quick Fix, a series that gives you wellness tips that are founded in research and that are practical and easy to apply in your life right now. These are short episodes that focus on all aspects of wellness: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, financial, professional, and personal. The goal is to help you and I to live lives that are healthy and soaked with meaning and purpose. So let's get going. Most of us tell ourselves that I do things only for myself. It doesn't matter to me what others think of me. And this is something that I hear so often. I am true to myself. And while this sounds very nice and certainly may have elements of truth in it, the more accurate picture is that we do things to have others like us. We do things to have others like us. It's part of human nature to want to be liked. We need to be liked. We may not even be aware that a lot of what drives our behavior and actions is our need to be liked. And here's the crux of the matter, the most important thing. There's nothing wrong with our wanting to be liked. One just needs to be aware and sensitive that our need to be liked does not push us into doing things that don't align to our own interests. Now, despite the fact that the need to be liked is a universal human need, there are some who claim, that they don't care about what people think. They live life only on their own terms. They are authentic to themselves. They don't worry about whether people like them or not. And when we hear such statements, we almost envy the confidence and the independence that is projected. But David Hamilton, the author of the book I Love Me, points out what's really happening. First of all, these folks who make all these statements, they're lying. They're lying to you, or worse, even to themselves. Or they lack confidence in interacting socially, so this is their way of avoiding to step out of their comfort zone and hiding. It's a coping strategy. Or perhaps it's what they really like for themselves, but they're not there. They're not yet there, and they're just expressing what they aspire for. Reality is that social psychology clearly tells us the fact that as human beings, we are social animals, and our need for connection and interaction is embedded in our DNA. It's essential to our survival as a race. As a matter of fact, the number one fear that we have as human beings is the fear of rejection. So in a sense, we are wired to connect with others. So why should we be defensive about our need to be liked or accepted or be affirmed, to be recognized and to get affection from those who matter to us? Where did this defensiveness come about? Well, connection, and I mean real human connection, not likes on social media, is shown by research to support a longer life, a better quality of life. It also supports good mental health and is an antidote to depression. The hormones that are triggered by positive connection, namely oxytocin, has physiological benefits as it protects the heart and the cardiovascular system, and it lowers blood pressure. Now, of course, there is a downside for our need to acceptance, and it is that the need to conform can be so strong that it can silence our voice when things are not right, or when there is an injustice because we don't want to upset the ones who are in power. We keep quiet because of the fear of being put out of our community of peers or the family whose approval we seek. Another downside is that our need for approval pushes us to keep doing things that please everyone else, and our own interests and needs can go on the back burner and often off the stove completely. So the essence of what we are saying is that it's absolutely fine and it's human to want to be liked, and there's no need to be defensive or guilty about it. What's actually required is this awareness and openness about it, so that with this awareness and openness that we have with ourselves, we are better able to balance what we do for others and what we do for ourselves. You see, with this awareness, we reduce the risk of the downsides of wanting to be liked, because we operate from a space of awareness, and that is what that drives us. So as we start pulling our quick conversation to a close today,
as we start feeling comfortable with the fact that a lot of what we do is because we want to be liked or needed or affirmed by people who matter to us, we might want to ask ourselves these questions so that we are more aware, more self-aware of our actions. And the benefit is that it reduces the risk of overdoing the wanting to be liked, which is really sabotaging or ignoring our own needs. So David Hamilton suggests that as a part of self-reflection, we ask ourselves, who are the people or key stakeholders in our life whose approval we seek? Or from whom do we want acceptance of or affirmation? The second question is, what would happen if these people didn't like us in the way that we'd like them to? What's the worst that would happen? The third question is, what beliefs can you write down and what actions can you take in the coming week that puts you and your interests first? Start with just baby steps of putting yourself first. And finally, what can you do to be the person whose approval and affirmation is the most important to you? So your approval and your affirmation for yourself, make that the top priority. So as we bring our conversation to a close, I want to encourage you to think about the significant stakeholders in your life who put a lot of pressure on you with the expectations they put on you. Sometimes these expectations may not be really healthy or helpful, but we've just accepted them to be part of our life. Now with this awareness, we can create a healthier balance from which to operate. What would it take if we were just free from these expectations? So why not just modify and let go of these expectations that we've let hijack ourselves? And here's the irony, here's the reality, is that those folks will just adapt and will let go and shrug their shoulders, say a few harsh things, and then learn to move on. It's just that we hold on to these expectations and give it a life which is not deserving. We make it bigger, we make it a big monster. Think about how letting go of finding approval from these burdensome expectations can set you free. Wow, you would enjoy that freedom, wouldn't you? So why not start? So our conversation today is about really understanding how our need to be liked influences what we think and say and do in our interactions with others. This need to be liked is universal for us as human beings, and it's absolutely fine to have this need. With awareness, we can arrive at a better balance in our relationships and interactions so that we can enjoy connection and minimize the risk of self-sabotage. So let's commit to being more aware of how we can make these insights support us in the coming week, and do let me know how you've been able to use these ideas to benefit you. Good luck.
And that's it for today. Thank you for listening. Please connect with us on coachtoolbox@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to follow, subscribe, and review this channel. Details of our ICF-approved coach training programs and our services as executive coaches and coaching supervisors are on www.globalcoachtrust.org. See you in our next session.